Adoptions paused. A respiratory illness running rampant among dogs at the Animal Foundation. What they are doing to stop the spread.
And pain at the pump. Gas prices continue to rise as the holiday season approaches. Just how quickly they have risen.
And it's time to vote. It's voting season. Here in Nevada, what you need to know on your ballots and more, only on Studio G.
Now, news that matters to you on campus and beyond. Live. You're watching Studio G.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on our first episode of Studio G this semester. My name is Hector Solomon.
And I'm Christopher Clark. Let's get to today's top stories.
The Animal Foundation is pausing all adoptions after finding a possible respiratory illness among the animals. Currently, 16 shelter dogs suffer from symptoms and are now on a series of antibiotics. This comes a week after the resignation of several employees alleging poor working conditions at the foundation. The overfilling facility is now at 2,000 animals since September and is taking caution while moving the dogs that may have been exposed.
The wait is nearly over. UNLV's medical school doors open tomorrow. The facility was built to address Nevada's physician shortage, now allowing the schools to double its enrollment. The goal for the school moving forward is to keep more future doctors right here in southern Nevada. The school is also adding an ambulatory care clinic to provide the best care in one place.
And another big project is wrapping up this week. It's the latest addition to Station Casinos. The Durango Casino and Resort tops off the 15-story tower, placing the final beam this Friday. The project began earlier in 2022 and is scheduled to open in late 2023. The resort will be located at Durango Drive and the 215 Southern Beltway.
Las Vegas gas prices are on the rise once again. According to AAA, the sudden price surge is mainly confined to the West Coast. This is due to several oil refineries in Washington and California shutting down for maintenance. This process happens every 3 to 5 years during the fall when demand is usually low.
Las Vegas gas prices are up 38 cents in comparison to last week, giving Las Vegas the second highest gas prices following California. According to AAA, drivers should expect rising pump prices through the weekend as demand rises and supply tightens. And the IRS warns taxpayers to watch out for text frauds that can steal personal and financial information. These messages look like they're coming from the IRS by offering false COVID relief and tax credits. The IRS reminds the community that they do not send emails and text messages for private information. Taxpayers are encouraged to report these scams to phishing@irs.com. And GradFest takes place this week. Fall 2022 graduates are invited to order and purchase their caps and gowns, along with other graduation items. GradFest will be held this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Richard Tam Alumni Center. The event is free for graduating students with the use of an event pass. Event passes, along with more information, can be found at UNLV's GradFest website. And now, let's hear from Jade to see if the weather will be good for GradFest.
Good morning. The weather will indeed be good for GradFest. We have a high of 95, so another hot one today with a wind speed of 7 miles per hour. Across the valley, we have temperatures ranging in the 70s, but later on today, those will rise. And Hurricane Ian is off the radar, but why is there still rising concern? Stay with us. That's all of the time we have for you guys, but back at the desk, Hector and Chris.
The Marjorie Barrack Museum of Art is celebrating their 10-year anniversary. They recently opened a new exhibit called Making Room, which maps out where the museum has been and where it's headed. The exhibit will be open through January of 2023. They are open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. through 5 p.m., and it's free to access. For more information, visit www.unlv.edu/Barrack Museum.
One of the biggest music stars is coming back to Las Vegas. Just when and where you can see him rocking out.
If you're a parent, you've done it all this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. Visit boystown.org/stressedout for great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families.
North Korea fired a missile over Japan as part of a weapons testing program. The missile flew over northern Japan early this morning and has since landed in the Pacific Ocean. The last time North Korea fired a missile over Japan was in 2017. This is their 23rd missile launch this year, making it the most missiles fired in a single year since Kim Jong-un took power in 2012.
Last weekend was the 5th anniversary of the October 1st shooting. The Clark County Museum created a remembrance exhibit called 5 Years Later, Remembering 1 October and Becoming Vegas Stronger. Over 22,000 pieces can be found within the exhibit, including donations from first responders. This exhibit is open through January 30th, but plans are in progress to move all items to one permanent memorial.
The UNLV bookstore wrapped up their 2-year renovation. The first major change is the addition of the Rebel Room. The new space was built for students to relax, study, or even hang out. Another new area is the alumni area, where the history of past UNLV students is honored. And if you want to pick up products online, web orders can be picked up at the textbook area. Selfie spots are available for customers to post while using Rebel for live graphics. And the William Boyd School of Law's new dean, Leah Chan Grinvald, expands the school's education access. Grinvald plans to bring law degrees beyond the courtroom by opening the school to everyone, focusing on representation in legal studies and the opportunity of having a law degree. And now, let's go to Jade for our weekly weather.
And now, this is Studio G weather.
And welcome back. For our weather headlines today, we have mostly clear skies with low cloud coverage, cool mornings and nights, and low speed wind. And for our evening planner, we go all the way from 90 all the way to 75, which is a significant drop, and we're hoping to see more 70s along the week. And for our sunrise temp, we have 70, which is, maybe a light jacket or anything, but other than that, you should be fine. And our 7-day forecast, we have temperatures in the low 90, which is much, much lower than last week and very promising since fall is here. And Hurricane Ian is causing rising concern because the death toll went from over 80 to just 100 in just one day. This is the largest federal relief team ever, and it's on track to become the deadliest hurricane in Florida. And if you want to go have some fun with your friends, UNLV has their 30th annual Oozeball tournament, which is the longest tradition here at UNLV. The temperature is going to be beautiful with a high of 90 and the wind speed of 8 miles per hour. Today is the last day to register, so get your friends and come down. And that is all we have for you for the weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
We're here in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month, and there's a lot to celebrate. From the cultures to the food to the art, our reporter Brianna De Leon has more.
Just last year, UNLV was placed on a 4-way tie as being recognized as the nation's most diverse campus by U.S. News and World Report, noting their high percentage of Latinx students sits at about 32%, almost half of the 65% of racial and ethnic minorities here at the university. Hispanic Heritage Month kicked off on September 15th and will continue throughout the month of October. It celebrates the histories and cultures of Mexican, Central, South American, Caribbean, and Spanish identities. Students and staff across the UNLV campus have come together to celebrate their heritage.
We're a pre-health organization. We help our Latino community through outreach, and then we also help undergraduate students who are looking for careers in medicine.
Many on-campus organizations aimed at Latinx students can also provide plenty of opportunities amongst the community.
It's great to be a part of this where people who already graduated and already in medical school, they don't forget about us. They always come back and give to us and give us that opportunities. So it's awesome. I love it.
Many events will be held on campus in celebration through Latinx organizations, from scavenger hunts to foodie fests and workshops. Homages are also being made through the campus, with the UNLV Library sharing a Latinx Heritage Month resource guide on its website containing a list of informative and educational resources regarding the Latin community. President Whitfield went on to state, "We are excited to celebrate with events and resources that support and recognize the Hispanic and Latinx community, not just this month, but all year long." The celebration, however, doesn't just end there. The Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art, located on campus, also celebrates Hispanic and Latinx identities. With a list of different Latin artists from different backgrounds and upbringings, they display their experiences, knowledge, creativity, and much more, attributing their heritage. You can visit the museum Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also find on-campus resources aimed at Latinx students and a list of events through the UNLV Office of Student Diversity Programs or through their page found on the UNLV website at unlv.edu/student-diversity. I'm Brianna DeLeon reporting for Studio G.
Now let's send it over to Dom for a look at sports.
Thank you, Chris. There was a lot of big happenings in the Vegas sports world this weekend. And we're just going to get things started here. Sorry about that. Let's go to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders, they took on a divisional opponent in the Denver Broncos Sunday, and the Raiders honored the victims of the 1 October shooting, and they even had the WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces light the torch to get the game underway. Now, the Raiders, their running back, Josh Jacobs, he had himself an absolute day, running for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Raiders, they put themselves in the win column off of the back of Josh Jacobs' play with a 32-23 win over the Broncos.
I'd say the entire last week, not just yesterday, but starting on Monday of last week, and their resolve and understanding, where we were and what we've had to kind of go through to learn how to do some things a little better here so that we could get a result that we were looking for. It's far from perfect. A lot of things we can do better, a lot of things we can learn from. Oftentimes it's more fun to learn when you win than it is when you lose, but we're going to learn nonetheless today. So good opportunity for us to try to improve our football team, even though we did get a victory, and see how we can make ourselves and our team better as we go forward.
The Raiders' roommates at Allegiant Stadium, the UNLV Rebels, they faced off against the New Mexico Lobos over the weekend in their second Mountain West game. And UNLV, they really had to fight back in this one, overcoming a 17-9 halftime deficit off of the back of spectacular quarterback play from Doug Brumfield. The Rebels improved to 4-1 on the season, winning 4 of their first 5 games for the first time in 19 years.
That was a big character win for us as a program, to be able to be that resilient, to be able to bounce back, to make those adjustments versus a team I said going into it that was going to give us our best punch. And they did. And they're a well-coached team. That defense is always a pain. We talked about that a lot. They do a nice job. They did a real nice job on offense. And we had to make some adjustments. I got to give kudos to our staff as well, because I think all season we've done a really nice job of adjusting.
Now let's move on to the UNLV Skating Rebels. They faced the Denver Pioneers Saturday night in a matchup of David versus Goliath. UNLV fell down 3-0 in the first period to the reigning NCAA champs, and it got out of hand fast. Denver scored another 7 goals en route to a 10-0 shutout over UNLV. But the Rebels got some revenge the following day against the University of Central Oklahoma. The Skating Rebels conquered the team that knocked them out of nationals last season 5-2. The Skating Rebels start their regular season 1-1. That's all we got for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Tom.
That was great.
Yeah.
I mean, UNLV and the Raiders both on a winning week.
Yeah, awesome. Great week for Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Now, trending from sports to music.
Ed Sheeran returns to Las Vegas next fall as part of his Mathematics tour. This is the singer's first time touring since his last album, Divide, released back in 2018. Pre-tickets go on sale October 12th and to the general public on October 14th at 10 a.m.
For the surface world.
Of Wakanda Forever. So yeah, Black Panther, the trailer was released for Wakanda Forever. It shows a lot of mysterious new Black Panther things that appears to be a woman who would be playing Black Panther this time. So this is still unknown right now, but the film is set to be released on November 11th. Are you registered to vote? That question has been asked by Eric Jeng 1,000 times. We have him here today to talk more about why voting matters.
If you're a parent, you've done it all this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. Visit boystown.org/stressedout for great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families.
Asian Community Development Council, better known as ACDC throughout UNLV, and it is voter registration week. This week, it's National Voter Registration Week, and as part of the importance of this week, we're getting the community educated on why voting is important. To speak more about voting is Community Outreach Director of the Asian Community Development Council, Eric Jeng. Eric, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. For us, last Tuesday is National Voter Registration Day. Following the National Voter Registration Day, this entire week is the National Voter Education Week. So for us, it's an exciting thing to do. Nevada right now ranked as 7th most voter-friendly states entire nation. Wow. This is from Brennan Center, from New York, from NYU's law school that's affiliated. So we have so many different ways to make sure that especially our youth, are registered to vote, are engaged, and ready for this upcoming midterm.
And can you speak a little bit as to the importance of why it's so pivotal that the youth get out there and vote, not only this election, but in other elections moving forward? Because a lot of the youth maybe seem a little jaded by the process, but we both know how important it is, and you more than anybody. So could you please tell them a little bit of why they should get out there and do this?
So I'm a millennial and central, like I'm right in the middle dab of it. So 10 years ago, I was a youth, and every election people tell us is the most important election of our lifetime. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that so much is at stake. The rights for LGBTQ, the rights of women's rights to choose, the climate change. We have, just like we saw at the earlier weather report, the unprecedented climate change and climate disasters. These are the things that we need good policy, good politicians, good elected officials to help us change that. So for us, for the entire, right now, we have until October 25th to register to vote online to make sure you can vote. And then we have same-day voter registration starting from October 22nd all the way until November 4th. And November 8th is the election day. So we're doing that countdown every day, and we're very excited for it. But it's also making sure that the same thing, we don't let our grandparents, we don't let our parents pick what we wear for the day. We also want to make sure we decide for our own what future we want.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. What can the students expect to see this week from ACDC as far as efforts to help more voters get registered this time around?
Yeah, so you will hear from us a lot of different deadlines, a lot of different dates. The basic thing is get your registration, check in, make sure it's up to date. We have all mail-in ballot. This week we'll put out information to make sure people know that you can vote by mail, you can drop it off, you can do same-day voter registration and vote on election day. That means we have 15 days of voting. That means we will tell you the weekend where UNLV Light Library will be an early vote location. And that's the thing that we're very excited about, to get this whole campus involved, get this whole campus engaged.
And one quick thing before we go, could you tell the students about registering online, what website they can find that at?
Yeah, so check out ACDC's website, acdcnv.org. Once you go to our front page, you will see the voter registration link. And over there, all you need is a valid driver license, Nevada driver license. You just have to live in this county for 30 days, live in your current address for 10 days, make sure you're 18 years and above, and you're a U.S. citizen. It's a very easy process, and that's how you get registered.
Something you mentioned earlier, Nevada having the 7th most friendliest election environment. That's something that we should really embrace here. You know, we should take advantage of the fact to have some little civic pride and get out there and support the candidates that we think are going to best help our community.
Exactly, and that's something we don't take it for granted at all. For us, especially in this environment, these are laws that pass from state legislature, from the county side, and making sure we have these elected officials that really help us make it friendly. We have vote centers across the county. We have, and hopefully I can do it again this time. In 2018, I have rented party buses, this is Vegas,
wow.
to come to campus at UNLV and drive our first-time voters. So hopefully I get to work with some campus organization, so fraternity and sorority or Greek organization or other student orgs that are interested. I think that's what we're planning to make sure by election time we'll have stretch limos and bringing people to the ballot.
Wow. A voting party bus. Now
Yes,
that's
sir.
something I can see the students getting behind. Now let's head over to Chris to speak more about the significance of this week. Thank you very much, Mr. James.
Thank you so much.
All right, so many local organizations are focused on providing the general public, especially first-time voters, with the tools and information needed to cast their ballots.
We've been doing voter registration since 2015, so we've done several years of voter registration with over 35,000 voter registrations completed in the state of Nevada. And with that civic engagement work, with getting people registered to vote, we also want to educate voters on how to vote for the first time, answer any questions that they might have about how to vote.
Okay, so you just heard about voting, but voting is very important. It's very important to do it, to get your feelings out there and get whatever you want basically to be done. So Tuesday, November 8th is the deadline for online and in-person voter registration. Mail ballot registration must be postmarked by next Tuesday on October 11th. You can find out more about National Voter Education Week through their website at votereducationweek.org.
And on lighter news, today is National Taco Day. Stay tuned for restaurants around the valley with special deals.
If you're a parent, you've done it all this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. Visit boystown.org/stressedout for great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families.
All right, so thank you for joining us today on Studio G.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 for more news.